What's good, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Behind the Turnbuckle. He is Big Tommy C. I am the coach. And Tommy, heat, 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 heat. As a former heel in the WWE, it is incredibly hard to get the fans to hate you. My question for this episode is this. Is Dirty freaking Dom, the greatest heel of all time in the WWE?
Wow, coach, that's a huge question because we had guys like Triple H, huge heel back in the day, Randy Orton, big time heel. How about let's go back a little? Who had more heat than Roddy Piper,
Ooh.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood Hogan. How about this one? Mr. McMahon. He fought God in a pay per view. So Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, I can go on and on. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, where he ridiculed the little kid bouncing a basketball
Oh, my
and didn't
God.
give him the money. Is there more heels than that? But I got to tell you, man, Dirty Dom is right up there with all of them. I don't know if he's the top one, but man, he's in the conversation. I know I'm not answering the question because it's really, really tough. When I think of the things Mr. McMahon did, Roddy Piper did, man, in this era right now that we're talking, he is definitely the top heel. But of all time, that's a big deal to me.
It depends on how you're rating what the greatest heel is. For example, John Cena recently did an interview on Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp, and he said that Roman Reigns is the greatest of all time. Why? Because the stock price is at a place in 2024 that it hasn't been, and so he's ranking financials as the reason for the greatest. So I say that to say this: however you look at heels, I think a lot of people have a different answer. The reason my answer is yes, and maybe it's blasphemy for a lot of people to hear that, is as a heel, what do you want to happen, Tommy? You want to have the biggest reaction possible. Why? Because then when you get beat up, when it becomes one of those situations where everybody collides on top of you, the crowd loves it. And Tommy, I've never seen, and I want your answer to this, I've never seen a superstar where he walks out, and we saw it Monday night, and he raises the microphone to his face, and the crowd loses their mind. They clearly watch other cities, and other cities have started this. And so he's now dictating city to city to city how they react to him before he even says a word. And then he'll say like one sentence and stop. Back in the day, Tommy, if we would have done that, Vince would have lost his mind. You don't play to the crowd. You don't listen to the crowd. The crowd has become part of the heel shtick for Dirty Dom. And that's the reason. Can you name me another cat that gets that kind of reaction for an extended period of time?
Extended period of time, no. But when Hogan turned heel and became Hollywood Hogan on that bash at the beach or whatever it was, the crowd threw bottles and cans and everything at him. So that was a lot of heat. But that was just that one time. Dominik gets it every week. Now I know Hollywood Hogan got a lot of heat, but I don't know if he got the heat that Dominik gets right now. That's the
It
question.
it is these are the discussions that I love to have, because to me, if you're a wrestling fan and you love wrestling, fans all have an opinion. This is a really good positive discussion because we're talking about the all-time greats. And do you think that Dirty Dom, when he started a few years ago, and I think this is probably how it went, Tommy. Rey Mysterio walked in. I've known Dom since he was, what, 4 years old, 5 years old, and he's running around with his dad, Ray. And then at some point, he was like, hey, Vince, can you try something with my son? Tommy, he might weigh 210 pounds, maybe 200 pounds. He's not shredded at all. His in-ring work has gotten loads better, but it happens when you work with better talent. But Tommy, what was probably a favor has turned into something that nobody could have predicted. And this is the beauty of the business. If you put yourself in front of the train, sometimes you get run over in a good way. And I don't even Dirty Dom with the stupid mustache. It all plays into it, right?
Mm,
People
good.
hate him for a lot of different reasons. What do you think is the biggest reason people hate him?
Well, I think for men, it's him being with Liv right now. You
Ooh.
know, so Liv is not bad on the eyes, but I think he's just so skeevy looking, Coach. He's got the porn star mustache. He got the ridiculous mullet. He's got the hair. It's all bald and it's wet. He looks like a wet rat. I mean, he doesn't even show his body. He wears a shirt on top and then the t-shirt below. You don't see any part of his body, so he's scrawny. And how is this guy getting over? We don't get it at all, but he is getting over and he knows how to play the crowd right now.
I don't even know what that line is that he says in Spanish when he yells at the crowd, but they started using it in the promos. Because what did Rio say back to El Stupido? And the crowd pops, and they
Yeah.
don't even speak Spanish. And I think it's incredibly smart writing. And I love and it's not to degrade his look, but that's what he looks like, and almost like greasy. Like that, people have long hair who, kind of in a biker bar, and he wears all black, and the hair's greasy a little bit, and then without the mustache, I think the whole look doesn't fit. But with the mustache, and I will take your reason a step farther, Tommy. He's a regular person to the eyes of the fans. A lot of people say, I can be that dude. He's not that
Mhm.
muscular. He's not that great looking, but you're right. He is with Liv. And when they think about, can I be in the ring like him? Could I walk out? The jealousy is so overwhelming. And then when Liv does a run in to protect her man, every single one of them say, I want her to protect me. And
Mhm.
they know deep down in places they don't talk about at parties, they don't have a shot in hell to get a woman like Liv, and that pisses them off to no end. And I think Dom knows that. Don't you?
He knows it, and that's why it makes you hate him even more, Coach. And he plays up to it big time by kissing her, arm around her, just doing everything to say, look at this creep. Look at this guy. And look who he has on his arm. It's unbelievable.
It really is. It really is. So as we move forward, Tommy, what would he have to do? Because Roddy Piper's a really good one.
Yeah.
Mr. McMahon, the character, is a really good one. I had to really rack my brain because to me, just me, Tommy, I base great heels off the reaction from the crowds. And I'm not going to say I was the greatest, but I would say I'm top 5 because when I came out and my music hit, man, the crowd hated it because I was really good at getting under people's skin. I believe if I was to give him any advice about being a great heel, I would say the one thing he needs to work on is getting under people's skin a little bit more verbally than just using the crowd. Would you agree with that?
100% I agree. He needs to bring it up a step higher. And doing that is going to put him in a stratosphere that nobody can touch because soon as he grabs the mic, the crowd is going crazy and he knows he's got him in the palm of his hand. And through the months and every time you do a TV and he's being coached backstage, he's getting better and better at it.
Mm-hmm.
So getting to the next level, got to get there.
I would love it in a pie in the sky world. Wouldn't it be cool if Piper was still around to coach him a little
Oh,
bit? If some of these great heels could take him under their wing, because one of the biggest problems I've always felt, and I ran a room called the pre-tapes room on the road, as you know, you and I worked hand in hand, and we did a lot of it's coaching, but character development. And I
mhm.
think the biggest problem is sometimes when a talent gets over, as we use in the business, over, that they get complacent. They go, man, I've arrived. Instead of what The Rock used to do or what Stone Cold used to do, they were always trying to be better. They were always trying to raise their game. And right now, Dirty Dom has an opportunity not only to raise his game on TV, but the merch has been really smart thus far. Get creative with that. Because as much as people don't like him and are pissed off when you're a cool heel, they want to be like you. So they'll still buy his t-shirt because they'll say, you know what, he's got Liv, and I feel like I'm the guy. And you can start monetizing this whole situation if you're smart, right?
Oh, absolutely, especially in merchandise. Roddy Piper had some of the coolest merchandise out there. Hot Rod. He had the picture of the black lion or whatever that was he had. That I mean, he had really cool merchandise, and that's like, oh, I would wear that. Even though he's a heel, I still would wear it. Hot Rod, whatever the picture he had, and boy, he created so much heat back in the day. Oh man, what he did to Cyndi Lauper back in the day and Captain Lou Albano in Madison Square Garden to start the whole rock and wrestling, that was because of Roddy Piper. People
Right.
don't know that. Watch it, folks. You'll see. Roddy Piper created that whole angle, man.
There is, as we wrap it up, there is a way to continue. And when you are a 52 a week company and you rely on your talent, you rely on these characters, think about it like this. This is a running TV show with characters. Yes, some of them are reality based, but let's be honest. Dom is a married guy, and Rhea is, I believe, she's married. So these are all make believe characters. You want them to go as far as you can take them because there is no end to this. There's no season ending. And Tommy, I thought it was ridiculous last week. Joe Tessitore, who was amazing, by the way, on Monday Night Raw, he goes, next week, the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. Normally, you've got like 3 months off before a season premiere of any show, not WWE. So I think it's ridiculous when they do that, but they do it every year. They do it every
Yeah, I don't
year.
know if it's for the TV ratings aspect of it. That's what I think. It's more than TV ratings that it's saying you have a season premiere and they look at you kind of differently, whoever handles the TV ratings deal. But I thought it was really ridiculous when we were on the road and they would say, oh, our season premiere. I'm like, when did we take any time off?
Exactly right. And it goes
Just
back
another
to
week. Just
right,
another
right.
week.
If people didn't watch our other episode, we're kind of changing the thing up. We're going to go one topic in each shorter episode, like 10 minutes, very digestible. And we talked about the road life and how the families are not valued. And this is a reason for that, Tommy. Right after WrestleMania, there should not be a Raw the next night, but there is. So you can't even enjoy the culmination of all these stories. The same thing with Raw. The exact same thing with Raw. And can you imagine if they had some time off and Dirty Dom was out of the picture for 5 or 6 weeks, and all of a sudden you come back for the real season premiere and he walks out in Madison Square Garden?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? And I would do some social media stuff with him. I would have him and Liv hanging out at the amusement park, walking, holding hands amongst the people. That would really piss him off. And then you come out on Raw and you say, as all of you saw, boy, I really enjoyed my month off. But now it's time for me to get back to work. So thank all of you. Oh, my gosh. Tommy, we should be writing for the show, to be honest. We should be writing for the show.
And boy, that season premiere better be big because they're going against Monday Night Football.
It changes the dynamic. It changes the rating, and you got to be better. When me and Tommy were there, we 100% talked about it in the production meeting. It changed it. There's a reason the PGA Tour no longer goes head up against the NFL. It is the behemoth. And as strong as Monday Night Raw is, it changes everything. Everything. All right, do not forget we are live every single Monday night at 11:10 p.m. Eastern Time as we break down anything that happened over the weekend and also Monday Night Raw. And then I encourage you not only to subscribe to this channel, but also turn on your notifications. We'll be dropping stuff every single Friday around 11 a.m. Eastern Time, but also other little episodes. We want to become a brand that you can count on. If there's a topic, we want to answer it for you. In the meantime, for Big Tommy C, for Producer Man, I am the coach. We'll see you next time right here at BTT.